Astrology isn't just about signs and symbols. It's a tool for navigating real life. Hello, and welcome to Astrology with Alisa. I'm your host, Alisa Dixon, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in. Over the last few weeks, my 9-year-old daughter, Lily, has been dropping little comments here and there about redecorating her bedroom. Simple at first. Mom, can I get a new alarm clock? Sure. I was a little surprised. The one she had, we actually got fairly recently. It's this really cute light-up unicorn alarm clock that plays mystical unicorn music to wake up. Honestly, I wouldn't mind waking up to that thing myself, but whatever, it's an alarm clock. So I said, okay, and I asked her why. She just shrugged and said, it looks a little babyish. Okay. So we went to Target and picked out a sleek white one. Digital face, normal beeping alarm. Very grown up. Fast forward a week or so. Mom, I think I'd like to paint my vanity white. Really? Okay. This is instead of the bubblegum pink color she picked out years ago, which, to be fair, doesn't really go with her room anymore. But then, in the next breath, Mom, can we get new curtains? I just want plain white ones. That one caught me off guard. And stung a little, like this tiny emotional zap straight to my mama heart. Because these curtains, when they're closed, they form this beautiful unicorn face. I got them for her when she was really little, back when she was just big enough to tell me what she loved. And it was unicorns all day, every day. Now, they're just curtains, but to me, they're magical. They feel like her childhood. And that was my first real clue. She's leaning into the young lady she's becoming, shedding a little bit more of the little girl. Then, last week, Mom, can we take down some of my unicorns? These are the wall decals that I put up when she was tiny, because I was afraid if I hung real frames, they might fall on her while she slept. So decals felt safer. You know, mom logic. Each thing by itself didn't feel like a big deal. An alarm clock, curtains, paint, wall stickers. But together, it hit me. These feelings felt familiar. She's not my little girl anymore. This isn't redecorating. This is Lily growing up. And instantly, I was thrown right back to last September. And actually, I recorded a whole podcast episode back then about that exact moment, about realizing she wasn't so little anymore. So much of this feels like a continuation of that story that I went back and renamed that episode Part 1. And this is really Part 2. I'll put a link to that podcast episode in the show notes if you want to go back and hear where this chapter started. Because that's exactly how I was feeling then. During the last Virgo eclipse, we redid her bathroom, made space for skincare and hair tools. She started taking care of herself more, less of me doing it for her. It was subtle, but it felt like an ending. I had this same quiet realization that my 9-year-old wasn't so little anymore. And when those same feelings started showing up again now, I thought, wait a second, this is an echo. Not long ago, I felt this exact thing. And I realized with all the big astrology happening this year, my attention was elsewhere. Neptune moving into Aries. Neptune and Saturn about to meet at 0 Aries for the first time in thousands of years. Uranus getting loud, about to move into Gemini. All the big headline transits. I've talked about them, just like every astrologer has. But suddenly, the eclipses took center stage. Not from a calendar, not from my astrology software, but from a series of casual comments from my baby girl. And it really made me reflect on how eclipses actually play out for all of us. Because eclipses aren't isolated events. They don't just show up for one dramatic day. I mean, sometimes they do. There are dramatic moments, peak moments. But mostly they unfold in chapters. Life taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, remember this storyline? And when I zoomed out, I realized this Virgo Pisces storyline has been running since September of 2024. It stretches through this year and into next year. It's not just a quick weekend. It's a season of your life. Now, technically, I don't even have planets in Virgo, but my Mercury is in Pisces on the opposite side of the Virgo-Pisces axis. Mercury rules communication, talking, teaching, sharing your voice, and sometimes it signifies children. And at the same time, my progressed moon has been moving through Virgo. And the moon is mother, home, nurturing, what we protect. So here I am with my progressed moon, the mother, opposite my natal Mercury, the child, both getting hit by these eclipses. And suddenly the symbolism felt so obvious. Letting go of my little girl and finding my voice at the same time. Same axis, same story, different expressions. And that's when another realization hit me. While all this has been happening with Lily, another storyline has been quietly unfolding too. The birth of this podcast. It lines up perfectly. Back in the spring of 2024, during the Aries Libra eclipses, I remember saying out loud, I think I want to start a podcast. It felt like a dream, not a plan. My husband kept asking me, when are you going to do it? What's the timeline? What's your plan? And I had nothing. I didn't feel ready. Then that summer, I connected with Thomas Miller, and he invited me to be a guest contributor on the Fun Astrology podcast. I was so excited and completely shocked because I really didn't think I was ready, but he did. And that moment meant a lot. So September came, that first Virgo eclipse, and I was in Greece with my husband on an anniversary trip. Long flights, lots of time to think, and I was already on air with Thomas, segments going live. Somewhere on that plane, my husband and I mapped everything out. Goals, steps, timelines. Very Virgo. Now, between that eclipse and the next one, my website was built, the podcast hosting platform chosen, recording software purchased, podcast trailer recorded, all the behind-the-scenes systems. And lately, I've felt myself stepping into the next level again, creating processes again, learning video, posting interviews, making clips, doing the uncomfortable tech stuff that I avoided for a long time, building structure, standardizing, very Virgo. In fact, I posted my first YouTube short the other day, and it got over 1,000 views. And I just thought, when did this happen? When did I level up? And here's the part that gets me. I didn't connect any of that to the eclipses until Lily, until she made those comments about her bedroom. And it took me back to September. Lily's growing up, and I'm growing too. Same eclipse story, different expressions of the energy. Lily's independence, my voice, my work expanding. That's how eclipses show up. Sometimes they feel like endings. Sometimes they feel like new beginnings. And about every 6 months, the next chapter unfolds. And here's the thing about lunar eclipses. You usually feel them before they actually happen. They build. You start noticing things, little realizations, moments that feel louder than they should. And that's exactly where we are right now. The Virgo lunar eclipse I've been talking about today is coming up on March 3rd. We're about 5 weeks out. So we're already in that building lunar eclipse energy. We're already feeling it. There's actually another eclipse happening first, a solar eclipse on February 17th. And that one begins the Leo Aquarius storyline. Themes of leadership, community, visibility. That's a whole new chapter beginning, one we might not fully see for a few more months. That's how solar eclipses work. You plant the seed first, and then it blossoms months down the line. But for me, right now, I'm very much in the Virgo Pisces feels. And chances are you might be too. If you tune into where Virgo or Pisces lives in your chart, or even just think back to what's been unfolding in your life since September of 2024, you'll probably start to see the thread if you're looking for it. Because eclipses can be loud sometimes, but more often they whisper first. And then you look back and you realize, oh, that's the astrology right there. Not abstract, not just something happening up in the sky, but happening in real time, in real life. And speaking of new chapters, in addition to my regular Wednesday episodes here and bringing on guests every so often, as I did last week with Parisa, talking through the astrology of dreams, I am also now doing a weekly Sunday series on the Fun Astrology podcast. So if you ever want a second dose of me each week, you can find me there too. Fun Astrology, if you haven't come across that yet, is a daily podcast. Thomas and Kristen walk through the transits as they happen each day in real time. It's super practical, real-time astrology. And it's the very place where I first got my podcasting start. Back in September of 2024, as a matter of fact. So it feels really special to be back there weekly on Sundays. I would love for you to join me there if you haven't already. And in a few weeks, I will also be jumping on YouTube Live with Thomas, Kristen, and Dr. Rita for an astrology speed read session. So that'll be really fun, and I'll share more details as we get closer on how to tune in, because I'm sure you're not going to want to miss that. If you haven't checked out last week's episode yet with Parisa Gamblin, please do. She is amazing, and we had so much fun talking about the tie between astrology and our dreams. As always, I love and appreciate you all. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, and I'll see you next time.